Hi, I'm Attorney Trixie Cruz-Angeles.
And I'm Attorney Edwin Lacierda, and you're watching The
The
Spokes.
Spokes. From the palace halls, then,
To our group chats now.
we're giving you conversations that will make you think
Assess.
and formulate your own opinion.
Because what we want to present are two sides of political and governance concerns. So, what we're going to do? Oh, there's a new thing going on. There's the ICI recommended filing charges on 6%.
Filing of charges against 6%. I'm excited.
It was a surprise. Actually, I was watching suddenly they came out.
The two senators,
Yeah, the two senators again. So,
Senator Joel and Senator Jinggoy.
so somebody said the term recidivist. So it's going to apply again.
To whom? To Senator Jinggoy.
Well, also Senator Joel was also a
Was
case
it
was filed, but he
criminally?
wasn't
No,
gone.
it was
Ombudsman.
administrative,
Administrative, yeah.
for Senator Joel. So, plus, remember, we were talking about how there are issues about his case. So, I think that if people pay close attention, but this, ewan ko, I
don't
like
recall-
the idea that they already came up with charge list.
I don't recall the other four. Who are the other four that you? It's Bernardo.
Yan. Former DPWH Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo. There's also the COA Commissioner.
Don't forget
Yes.
the-
Mario Lipana.
The one in Congress.
Yes, Saldi ko. How could we forget? Because, di ba, sino pa ba? Former Congresswoman Mitch Kahayan Uy.
Siya yung kalaban ni Congressman Egay sa distrito niya.
I see. I see.
And Commissioner Mario Lipana of COA.
Yes, COA. Well, for me, COA is the most, kumbaga outstanding because most of the time they get away with it. Bihira yung COA na na-charge.
But it's so brazen, that what he did, went to the office and then asked for the list of flood control projects. There is thinking that nothing's gonna happen to him. It was so brazen that talagang he went straight to the source of just to make money.
Maybe it's the signs of the times also.
Maybe they're so.
They're already brazen nga.
Yeah.
Walking around knowing that they can say things like that. They have witnesses. Dun ako na normally these crimes would be committed in secrecy. Diba?
Yes, in darkness. Diba?
Pero dito, nowadays, even the impression of the public of many of our lawmakers, it seems to them that it's already very brazen. Too much na. At some point, diba, you can't keep doing this.
There was a, I don't know if this is urban legend, but I was told, because I remember during our time, the only time that you will hear the chopper in Batasan is when the president delivers a SONA. So that's the only one that you'll have the helicopter landing in Batasan. Ang balita ko raw, ang dami na raw chopper na naglaland sa...
Walang parking.
Walang parking, oo.
So that I actually heard about that. There are more than 30 or plus congressmen with choppers. And the thing is, they don't have just one.
Oh, multiple.
Yes. So there is a time when there's about 2 or 3, and I think that would have been reasonable given their backgrounds, their businesses, and all that. But 30, then 30 plus. Remember, we were also talking about how hindi na representative ang House of Representatives. They can be too rich.
You recall, I just also heard yesterday that the Ombudsman, Boying Remulla, told them that we're going to file cases on November 25. Parang he's so confident that there will be cases filed at the end of November. No? So parang everything has been planned, or
I don't also like the idea na i-announce mo ahead. Kasi parang pinagpaplanuhan naman nila.
My first thought there was, you're so confident, so parang nakahandaan na yung mga, maybe because of the Senate Blue Ribbon hearings and also the investigation.
Because the evidence was already there.
Pero that's good naman kasi, di ba? At least may nangyayari rather than
Yun nga.
hearing ng hearing, walang nangyayari.
What I like is itong ang ICI, umandar na kagad, already recommended the filing. And then early this month, tama ba yan? Early this month, the DPWH recommended yung already, nag-file na sila against the district engineers. This one, I remember, Duterte time, meron talaga siyang mga, he would point them out, he would shame them, he would name them, and fortunately, hindi ko yata nakita yung mga pangalan nila in this list. So, there are always people who will trade places with this one. So, it's systemic and endemic, and the sad part is that the public has learned to accept that this is something that is going on. So I like the shake-up. I like the idea.
Pero this whole attitude of public saying na, di ba, there's always they saying pare-pareho lang naman yun, corrupt lahat yan eh. But at least this has desensitized them a bit that hindi na to pwede, sobra na to.
Well, I like that the public is showing anger.
Yes.
Kasi these things, the politicians will only be able to get away with it kung tatanggapin natin.
You don't
speak up.
If you don't say anything, tahimik lang kayo.
So, I think I like the idea na may empowerment yung mga tao.
Right.
So, thank you also to social media.
Right.
But ako, excited ako dito. I hope that the cases are well filed.
Yeah.
Kumbaga,
Well, it's with it hasn't been filed. It is the ombudsman pa lang because ICA recommended charges to them. And so we'll see what the next step of the ombudsman will do.
Yeah, but I hope it reaches the point na people want to see heads roll. But I like also the idea that because of the due process, people will be walked through the process. It's also a learning experience for our people.
And the next feedback that we have is 3 air assets of Saldico were flown out of the Philippines. I think Malaysia yata, the one that Secretary Vince Dizon mentioned. No?
So,
2 Augusta Westlake helicopters were found in Kota Kinabalu, Malaysia. So,
flown out of the country.
August 20 and September 9/11 pa, imagine mo. Very memorable date yan.
Gulfstream aircraft naman was in Singapore since August 16. Government froze the assets of Congressman Zaldico nga pala. No? So, ang people are asking...
Can they freeze the assets, government?
They can, pero di ba, subject to due process. So apparently, medyo mabagal pa sa AMLC. At least to the public's impression, masyado itong mabagal. As we know, under the Anti-Money Laundering Act, you have to establish first the probable
and the choppers are in Singapore and in Malaysia. So I don't know if we have an inter-country arrangement on that.
The CAAP can monitor kasi anywhere in the world. So right now, that's what they're doing. The danger is these things can also tend to disappear. There was plus
movable property kasi
diba? Plus, the CAAP had reported, and dito nila nahuli, is because the owners, of course, several companies of Congressman Zaldico, applied for deregistration, which means...
Yes. That was what was mentioned by Secretary Vince Dizon.
So that means that they're preparing to sell.
Correct.
So, fortunately, well, nahuli natin yan, but we don't know how long because although with the application for deregistration, they won't be able to sell it yet, but, things can disappear nga. They have a tendency to disappear.
And so the other thing that was a very pleasant news compared to the House of Congress, all 24 senators have now made their SALNs public yesterday.
Thank you very
Full
much to
transparency.
the Senate of the Philippines.
At least in the upper chamber, no? So that's a welcome and that's a very welcome move.
This means sensitive din sila sa mga tao, and we like this. We like this more sensitive to the public sentiment ang ating mga senators. So we'll talk to Senator Rodante Marcoleta about this and other hot issues, including the so-called Tanim Witness controversy involving Orly Guteza.
And that's coming up next when the spokes return after this short break. And we are back. The Tanim Witness issue emerged after a Manila executive judge found that the lawyer's signature on Orly Guteza's notarized affidavit was fake.
What does this revelation mean for the credibility of the so-called witness and Senator Marcoleta, who presented Guteza to the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing?
Known for his straight talk and sharp insights on controversial issues, we are joined by Senator Rodante Marcoleta.
Welcome to this, folks, and
Good morning, Attorney Trixie.
Minsan lang ho kayo lumalabas sa
Attorney
TV.
Edwin.
Malakas po si Trixie sa inyo. Maraming salamat ho at pinaunlakan niyo po ang
It's my honor. It's my honor.
Thank you for being here. So, kumusta naman, sir, yung the RTC found that yung affidavit daw ay forged document. So, ngayon, ang tinatanong is, ano ang repercussions nito sa inyo daw dahil kayo yung nagpresenta?
Repercussions on me.
Meron siyang repercussions?
May mga ganun. Hindi, tanong lang naman, syempre, umiikot. And
I'm surprised this is happening. Are they trying to create a mountain out of a molehill?
Di ba ho, and I agree with this, and other legal luminaries have also agreed that, notwithstanding the fact that the signature was of the lawyer, notary public was allegedly forged, he already sworn in before the Senate, di ba? So,
Yes, he did.
Kaya, didn't that cure whatever defect there was in the preparation of the affidavit or the notarization of the affidavit?
I think so, because the guy presented himself before the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee.
Correct.
He took his oath, and then he allowed himself to be interpellated by the entire committee.
But, Senator
But let's get
yeah.
back to the allegedly...
I was not
What
aware.
is that?
Repercussions.
No, the notarized, the forged, whatever.
forged document daw.
The signature of the notary public was allegedly forged.
Yes.
If we can at least waste our precious time discussing this, you will have to believe and assume that Guteza has the power to go to one office, get the notarial stamp of whoever is notarizing there, secure the dry seal, and then look for the last entry of the book of the notarial register or the registry para makuha mo yung document number, the page number, and the book number, and then sasaynan ni Guteza. Are we able to assume all this, that Guteza has the capacity to do all this by himself?
The other lawyer who also presented the same signature, the same forged signature, was Attorney Romano Macalintan.
Yes, at meron din akong nakuha, ganun din.
Exactly.
Yung signature, very, very close doon sa... So, ako, ang assumption ko dito, like the assumptions of many, if not all, pumunta ka sa isang lugar, let's say, the periphery of Quezon City Hall.
Correct.
Nandyan naka-line up lahat ang ano. Somebody will go to each one of these. I-present niya yung paper. And then, all the guy would have to do is, bigay niya yung papel, then wait for a while, hanggang sa natataka na lahat yung papeles niya. And then he pays. No one would insist on, let's say, verifying bago siya umalis. Sir, ma'am, can I please ascertain whether you are the one who signed this? Are you the lawyer who signed this document? Yung po bang nagpapanotaryo had all these things to do bago siya umalis? The notary public in this country has become a cottage industry. Wala naman talagang lawyer doon eh. I have always assumed that somebody, like in the case of Guteza, was there assigned by that lawyer, whoever she is or he is. Maring hindi siya ang pumirma, but she or he allowed somebody to sign for him or for her. This is happening everywhere.
Sa
This
totoo
is
lang,
something that we should recognize.
sa totoo lang, kinagawian talaga dito yan eh, di ba?
Pagkatapos yung puro na tao, ang i-ostracize, and he will be discredited by... Paano why are we allowing, let's say, ourselves to be swayed into other direction? Guteza is the most credible witness ever presented in that committee. Why? Guteza has nothing to gain. Guteza has everything to lose, including his life, and the safety and the security of his family. But the most important thing, Guteza was able to connect the dots from Saldico to Martin Romualdez.
And that's the reason why there is pressure also now in the Senate to issue an invite to the House to ask former Speaker Martin Romualdez
And I
to
welcome that.
appear. So at
All
least,
the while, I've been thinking that that is the most proper thing for the Blue Ribbon Committee to do. Why is it that all the personages mentioned by Guteza in his own affidavit, like a certain John Paul Estrada, and Mark Texay, allegedly the ones who were receiving the money and then counting the money in the house of, from the house of Saldico in Valle Verde, then to be transported in his house in BGC. And from there, yung leftovers, kasi like the one he mentioned, that was December 2024. Sabi niya, ito po minimension ko special because this is pinakamalaki pong delivery namin. You imagine 46 suitcases. Each suitcase, sabi niya, as an amount of, let's say, 48 million. How did you know 40? Kasi merong label eh, sabi niya, yung post-it. And dadalhin po namin kay Saldico sa unit niya sa BGC. Out of 46, ang ibababa namin 35 at that time. So 11 ang naiwan, 35 ang dinala kay Martin Romualdez. Bakit hindi naman ipatawag si John Paul Estrada? Ba't hindi ipatawag si Mark Texay? These are the ones he personally knew and sila ang nag-receive, sila ang nag-handle, sila ang nagbilang.
Nakausap niyo na ho ba si Senator Lacson tungkol dyan? In the concern that you have, that why didn't you send yung pwedeng isamon yan, di ba? It's a
Palagi
subpoena.
yung sinasabi. Unang-unan, bago kami nag-iwahiwalay, ba't hindi mo ako patawag si Saldico? Alam mo, sabi, nagtagal ka naman dyan eh. Don't you know the interparliamentary courtesy? He was preaching to the choir.
Of course.
Sabi ko, are we violating interparliamentary courtesy if we simply invite him? No. I invited Toby Chanko and I was the chairman.
And he appeared.
He appeared. And twice he appeared. Ba't tayo mong tawagin? Ba't tayo mong tawagin, for example, the initial 17 congressmen mentioned by the Discayas. 17 congressmen. Hindi man lang niya ipatawag kahit isa. And he himself mentioned 67 contractors congressmen.
Correct. In your late...
Nagpatawag siya. I'm not saying that we should not call the small fries here or charge them. They're all accessories to this crime. Pero wag naman nating pakaiwasan o pagtakpan yung malalaking isda na dapat nating matukoy dito.
Senator Marcoleta, it's just something that we mortals don't know how it works around the Senate.
Ordinary mortals like us.
Sir,
You're
hindi
not.
kayo.
Ito po, this is my question. No? The Senate operates as a collegial body.
Yes, sir.
So you're supposed to be discussing things amongst yourselves. There are two main points that I want to ask. Dito po kay Mr. Guteza, you presented him right there and there. No? Was there a previous notice to the chair or to the others? Because you're working as a collegial body, did you inform them that I have a surprise witness? I remember that you mentioned it right there and there. Because my understanding of Senate rules, and because it's a collegial body, that there you should provide notice to all the members so that they can aptly prepare for the closest case I recall was, if it's a very sensitive witness and you just brought him in, you will normally ask for a break, maybe 1 hour, and discuss it among the body, among the Senate Blue Ribbon, and then come back. And by which time, they would have sufficient time to prepare. Why wasn't it, I remember you asked permission and Senator Ping Lacson said yes, but as a general practice, don't you as a collegiate body inform each other? Let's say, sabi ni Senator Ping Lacson, meron din siyang surprise witness. So, binandera niya sa publiko, meron siyang witness. Hindi ko po alam kung sabay naka-adjourn kayo ngayon. Will you be meeting first to discuss sino ba itong surprise witness? I think, shouldn't he be obligated to inform the fellow committee members, Blue Ribbon?
First, to the initial question you raised, bakit hindi ako nagkaroon ng pagkakataon na i-discuss sa kanila?
Correct.
Kasi, nung na-meet ko si Guteza through Mike Defensor, there was a little time. Hindi naman ako naniwala na may tao nga palang may gustong gumawa ng... Sabi ni Mike Defensor, i-meet po lang siya because for 2 months, hinahanap ka raw niya, nalaman ko through my emissaries here, ikaw ang hinahanap niya. Gusto lang niyang makausap ka because meron daw siyang sasabihin. Sabi ko, paano ito mag-aalas 2 na? ang ano namin, ang session namin is 3 o'clock.
This was the day before ho ba ng Blue Ribbon?
Yes, yes. So, hindi ko na alam kung anong date. Sabing ganon, hindi, we're in Manila. Kung saan mo gusto, malapit sa'yo para lang makita mo yung prepared statement. O can you go to the seascape? Kasi yun lang ang alam kong malapit. That's 5 minutes away from the Senate. So pumunta ako. Okay? Doon ko nakita na, sabi ko, matindi tong statement mo. Are you prepared to make yourself available before the committee? Yes, sir. O sige, sabi ko, panotaryo mo. That's for my benefit only kasi hindi ako naniniwala na matapang siya talaga. I don't know him. Okay, so kung talagang buo ang loob mo, pumunta ka bukas sa Senate before 9 o'clock ng umaga.
Okay.
Sino kasama mo? Ako lang po, sir. Anong sasakyan mo? Sir, nakamotor lang po ako. Well, sa una, hindi ako naniniwala na malakas ang loob niya. So, hindi ko na sinabi sa kanila kasi baka ako rin, hindi ako naniniwala na darating siya. Gusto kong maniwala na buo ang loob niya kung darating siya. That's what happened.
So, sir, napansin niyo ba that yung testimony ni Guteza ay pareho din dun sa, yung, lalo na dun sa luggage, ay pareho dun sa testimony nung sina Bryce Hernandez
Mabuti
tsaka
napansin mo.
Henry Alcantara?
Hindi lang si Guteza. Alcantara, Bryce Hernandez talk about the Rimowa suitcases. Sinabi rin nila na dinadala sa bahay ni Saldico. Nag-connect lahat eh. This guy also mentioned, about, putting the money in this, ganito, dinadala sa ganito.
Luggage,
sa ganito.
confirmed
Bakit hindi
yung
nila
luggage,
ngayon
eh.
maintindihan? Ba't hindi nila
Same luggage
mapag-connect?
po yan? Same luggage ang
Mga
ginagamit?
ganun ang
type,
binabanggit
same
nila eh.
type
Sabi
daw.
ko pa, how come? Sinong nagbibilang? Sila po, sabi niya, ano na po plastic. Ang isa pong plastic is 1 billion. So, iniitsa-itsa lang na ganun.
So, sir, walk us through yung testimony ni he connected, kasi may kinikwento ko yung kanina, he connected the luggage issue. Sir, yung narrative niya, bakit importante yung narrative ni Guteza?
Napaka-importante ng narrative ni Guteza because he was the only one who connected the dot from Saldico to Martin Romualdez. Nobody else.
Nasaan na po siya ngayon? Do you still have contact with him?
Wala akong contact sa kanya personally. Ang pagkakaalam ko, kinupkup siya ng kanyang tropa, yung mga Marines. Kasi ang balita ko, merong nagtatangka sa buhay niya. At I was also informed na nahuli nila yung gustong magtangka sa buhay niya.
Okay.
Sir, tanong lang, natanong niyo ba kay Mr. Guteza kung bakit, kung nag-deliver siya sa Forbes kay Speaker Martin, allegedly, nag-deliver din siya sa Aguada? Tama
Sinabi
po ba?
niya doon sa statement niya, hindi lamang sa
Pero hindi
dalawang
niya
lugar sa
in-explain,
merong
Natanong niyo ho ba kung bakit ho dalawang delivery places?
Forbes tapos Aguada pa.
hindi na kasi nakita ko yung niya. Dahil nagmamadali kasi ako. Ngayon, ang nangyari pa, ang balita ko, kumuha ng CCTV si Senator Lacson para makita niya na kung sino yung sumundo kay Guteza.
Sa CCTV po ng Senate.
Sabi ko, ako naman, anticipating that he might come. So sabi ko doon sa staff ko, pakitingnan mo itong taong ito, baka sakaling dumating kasi nangako siya na darating. But I'm not sure kung darating o hindi. So binigay ko yung pangalan. So na-establish nila sa CCTV, one of my staff fetched him from the guards area at pumunta sa
Senate ito, di ba?
Sa Senate.
So,
Ngayon,
bali sa pintuan ng Senate.
ano?
Sa pintuan,
Sa pintuan kasi
pagpasok,
doon pa lang
sa guard,
kasi maraming
pirmahan.
You have to check in eh.
Para lang makapasok siya ng mabilis, kasi sabi ko, before 9 o'clock, nandun ka na. Question is, bakit naman si Senator Lacson, kung totoo yun kung totoo na merong CCTV, ba't kinakailangan niyang kumuha ng CCTV and spy on us? Is this the work of a senator?
But wasn't that already, the CCTV has always been there, so you can just track it, di ba? So there's nothing new there because it's always been working.
Pero bakit palaging siyang kumukuha ng CCTV? You remember the other incident? Meron daw contractor na pumunta sa isa sa amin and then na-establish pumunta sa opisina ni Senator
But
Edwin
wouldn't that be
Tulfo.
also just to make sure that everything falls into place, that the people who are saying whatever they're saying can be verified independently. And CCTV is a good basis
sir,
to say that you're telling the truth. Or
ano
at
yung
least,
significance ng pagsundo ng staff
Ewan
ninyo?
ko
Hindi
sa
ba
kanila,
common courtesy yun?
Parang
Mag-invite
magpipresent
kayo?
yata sila na pumunta nga sa opisina ko. Alam nga, kanino pupunta yung tao? Ako yung kausap
Witness
niya.
niya. Oh, yes, sir.
Di ba?
Pero, so Senator Lacson is making a big deal out of this.
Sabi ko nga
siya
sa'yo,
nga-
somebody is creating a mountain out of a molehill. So, yung pagpunta ba ni Guteza, kinakailangan kumuha ka pa ng CCTV para i-present mo. Why? Why are you doing that?
I'm confused. But when you say, bakit pa kukunin, you mean to say, bakit pa tiningnan ni Senator Ping Lacson yung CCTV?
Ganon yung gusto raw nilang gawin. Ewan ko kung gagawin nga nila yon. At somebody informed me also na may pumunta sa Seascape para makita nila na pumunta nga ako doon at siguro ilang oras. Siguro na-establish nila. Hindi ako talaga nagtagal because that was my promise to
Pero,
Mike Defensor.
with due respect, Senator Marcoleta, I think that's also part of the investigative process, just to confirm the veracity of the statements of whoever, not just you. It's also his way of certifying or at least verifying that Senator Marcoleta indeed did what he said.
Sana ganun lang ang gusto nilang mangyari.
Correct. But I think it's going to be a mountain, creating a mountain out of a molehill kung hindi to, kung palalaking pa. But
Yun nga yun eh. Aren't you supposed to go to the jugular? Sino ba yung gusto nating matukoy dito? Why are we fighting each other? There's only a common objective. Makuha natin. Sino ba yung pinakamalaking isda? Sino yung tao na nasa likod ng napakalaking pandarambong sa kaban ng bayan? Hindi ba iisang ating layunin? Bakit kinigisan ninyo si Orly Guteza? Alam mo, ang simple analogy rito, alam ko maraming nakikinig sa inyo. Si Attorney Trixie, tinip sa'yo na mayroong magnanakaw ng kalabaw dyan sa neighborhood. Ang ginawa mo naman, Attorney Edwin, yung nagtip, yun ang ginisa mo. Yun ang dinidiscredit mo. Pero you did not even take any effort na i-verify mo na yung magnanakaw ng kalabaw, nandiyan lang pala sa vicinity natin. Ganun na nangyari.
perhaps his absence is making that a big problem for Guteza kasi nawala siyang last hearing.
Bakit siya nawala? There is a threat now to his life. Ito yung nangyari. Kailangan mapansin ng mga kababayan natin. Nung ilabas ko si Guteza, wala nang tinawag na hearing. Kahit na naka-adjourn kami, nag-hearing kami. Nag-hearing kami. Merong mga briefing ngayon sa budget. Ako, maski nakabakasyon ako, I try my best to contribute and participate in most of the briefing ng budget. Bakit biglang inihinto yung Blue Ribbon? Napaka-importante nito. Nakasalalay dito ang buwis ng bayan na talagang dinispalko talagang ninakaw lahat kung sino man ang mga hindi ko malaman kung paano ko i-describe itong mga taong ito. Kung paano nila naisip systematically nakawin ang pera ng bayan. Pagkatapos, nag-aaway-away kami. Samantalang ako, the only direction I wanted to take from the beginning until today, hindi nagbabago yun, I want to hit the mastermind.
Yun. So, more on this later when we come back from the break. Also, together with your comment on ICI filing of charges against 6 individuals.
Mga botete.
But before you answer this, Senator Marcoleta, let's suppose we'll return after this short break. And we're back. Senator Marcoleta, could you provide us your wisdom on your comment on the filing of the charges against the 6 individuals?
Who are the 6 individuals?
The 2 senators, Jingo and Joel, Commissioner Lipana, Undersecretary Bernardo,
Congressman Zaldico.
Saldico, and Mitch Cahayon.
Why was not Martin Romualdez not included?
That's up to the ICI. Maybe you should ask
Because
the
they
ICI.
are trying to discredit Guteza's testimony?
No, they haven't summoned
ICI
Guteza.
pa lang.
So you
Bakit
can,
hindi nila isama si Guteza?
the same reason why they cannot summon him in the Senate.
Yes, sir.
We're all looking for the mastermind, the most guilty.
That will come at some point.
Is everybody looking for the mastermind?
Of
Parang
course.
kayo
I think everybody
We
should
should
be
be.
looking.
They
looking
should
at the
be, but it
supposed to be
doesn't
looking
appear
at
to
the
be so.
mastermind.
The Senate
By
started
the
off
way,
on
this
the
is
right
just
foot.
according to Justice Andy Reyes, this is just the first interim report nila on the filing. So, But let's just take it as it is right now. So how do you think, is this a good beginning? This is the start of the many charges.
It's a good beginning. Pero sinasabi ko nga, hindi ko naman sinasabi na huwag nating habulin ang mga sapsap. Ang palagi kong sinasabi, yung mga butete, yung mga dilis, okay lang yon. But let us not forget yung malalaking isda sapagkat sila talaga ang promotor ng pagnanakaw ng pera ng bayan.
May tanong po ako sa inyo, mauhupa ba ang galit ng taong bayan pansamantala kung nakasuhan si Senator Joel at si Jinggoy? Kasi ang sabi nila, tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang investigasyon. No? So, do you think this will quiet down the public wrath for... I think this is just temporary, but ano po ang tingin ninyo?
I don't know kung mapapacify natin o mauhupa ang ano ng tao. Sapagkat ang nakikita nila, pagka mga congressmen ang dapat na sumalang sa investigasyon, lahat ginagawa para pagtakpan sila. I will start with the 17 initial congressmen identified by the Discayas. And then, let me go back to the 67 contractors, congressmen, intimated by Senator Ping.
Contractors, you mean?
Sinabi niya, I have a list of 67 contractors.
Dami.
Hindi ba kayo nagtataka bakit isa man lang wala siyang tawagan? What about the 17? Kaya nga gusto kong malaman, kung tatawagin niya si Martin Romualdez, make him appear before the committee. Para makapagtanong naman kami.
At sana hindi closed door, na?
Walang closed door yan.
Lalo magagalit ang taong bayan kung
Sa
i-close door.
Yung ICI, kaya siguro
siya.
hindi masyadong naniniwala ang tao dyan because hindi alam ng tao eh. Ang tao, interesado sila. Why? This is their money.
Correct.
Alam mo, sabi ko nga hanggang ngayon, naghahanap ako kung paano isasagot ko sa kanila eh. I hope I can bend the law. Why? Sabi nila, Senator, tulungan mo naman kami. Kami kahit na ganito kami kahirap, pinipilit namin magbayad ng buwis. Ganito pala nga niyan, kinapuntahan ng buwis namin. Pwede bang ilaban mo naman kami para wag naman kaming magbayad ng buwis kahit sa 2026 lang? What am I supposed to tell them?
Agreed, sir.
But
If I can bend the law, I will ask the BIR.
pero alam niyo ho, mukhang nangyayari na because I understand from the reports of the Finance Department, the collection has gone down because primarily the people are so frustrated.
Hindi natin madi-discount yan kasi
Correct.
galit ka yung tao eh. But if I want the people, I want to please them. Pwede ko bang i-bend man lang ang batas? Kahit konti lang para mapagbigyan ko ito. Kasi nga yung kanilang sentimiento, Attorney Edwin, Attorney Trixie, valid eh. Pera nila ito eh. Nagsikap sila, luha, dugo ang kanilang ginugol dito. Pagkatapos makikita nilang ganun lang palang kapupuntahan.
Correct.
Masama pa ekonomiya.
It's
Masakit yung pagbayad ng buwis
This is a
ngayon.
valid expression of anger because of what we've seen right now po eh. So talagang everybody is mad at that's why yung mantra, yung chant ngayon, ikulong na yan, mga kurakot eh.
O, tapos ang gagawin nila, para lang ma-sway sa ibang direction, si Guteza ngayon papapanagutin. Anong malay niya? Binigay lang niya yung papel doon sa window nung kung sino man yun. Akalain mo na yung lugar na yun, pinakunan ko na litrato eh. Alam mo nakalagay na paskil doon, Attorney Edwin, Attorney Trixie? Notary Public 24/7. Yung mga abogado doon, hindi na natutulog yun.
Oo nga eh. Parang
Chances are,
ginigising.
that lawyer, kung sino man yun, hindi siya talaga pumipirma ron. But
Yes.
he assigned somebody na pipirma sa kanya. And that is the violation in the notarial law.
But let's discuss moving forward. No? In the same way that you had a surprise witness, like I said a while ago, Senator Lacson claims to have a surprise witness. Isn't it your duty as a collegial body and as a member? I remember saying that in a committee, all our members and the chairman is not a master but a presiding officer. So what actions would you take to, at the very least, identify the surprise witness? Even para wala nitong gulo na nangyari doon sa hearing, parang would you like to ask Senator Lacson to...
I will ask the minority leader. Kasi ako, deputy minority leader lang. I will ask Senator Alan. Siguro, total, para hindi na maging surprise, sabihin niya na kung sino.
My understanding...
Palagi ko may time naman siya na gawin yun. Hindi kagaya ko, na talagang tinitingnan ko muna kung darating o hindi. Kaya ako nagkulang ng time. Pero may courtesy ako dahil sinabi ko naman sa kanya ang circumstances before I introduce the guy before the committee.
My recollection of Senate rules is you can temporarily not disclose, but it cannot be, before at least there should be reasonable notice to inform the collegial body na there's this witness. Para at least lahat kayo handa.
Sana ganun ang gawin niya, di ba?
Maganda ko kung ganun sana mangyayari moving forward. Kasi hindi lang siguro isang surpresang witness ang lalapit sa inyo, lalapit sa ibang mga senador. Kaya mabuti siguro pag-usapan po
And
ninyo.
better still sana, magtawag muna siya ng kuku sa limbawa kung ayaw niyang mag-meet yung buong Blue Ribbon. Para discuss natin. Sa akin, aside from that, kailangan merong ground rules dito eh. Alam mo kung bakit ko pinipilit ang ground rules? Hindi ko na maintindihan itong nangyari nung panahon niya eh. Nag-hearing kami, darating si Boying Remulla, the Department of Justice, kukunin niya yung isang resource person, dadalhin niya sa NBI, pagdating niya, merong supplemental affidavit. What is this? What is the arrangement between the Blue Ribbon Committee and the DOJ? And then silang dalawa ni Senate President Soto, pupunta sa ICI, makikipag-meeting doon, pagkatapos babalik sa... What is the arrangement between the Blue Ribbon Committee and the ICI vis-a-vis the DOJ?
Wala pa lang ganun.
Naghalo na yung balat sa tinalupan eh.
Pero that
Sir,
was,
yung mga diskaya, sinabi na nila dun, speaking of ICI, sabi na nila dun sa ICI that they're not going to appear anymore or hindi na sila magko-cooperate sa ICI. Sa tingin nyo, mag-appear pa sila sa Senate Blue Ribbon?
I don't know.
but they have
hindi
contempt
kayo,
powers kasi in the Senate.
So,
They should.
papatawag pa rin kaya
Kasi
sila?
siguro na, ito sa supposition ko lang naman, siguro nawalan sila ng interest dahil sa, sabi mo, they ask for protection under the Witness Protection Program. Ako naman, ang nalalaman ko, we can provide that because under the law, Section 4 of the WPP, they can be processed. Mag-apply sila.
Were they provided they were already provided protection, di ba?
Hindi nga eh. Kasi nung ako ang Blue Ribbon Committee, doon sa kanilang sworn statement, humihingi sila ng witness protection. So I, as the chairman, sumulat ako sa Senate President at that time, si Cheese Escudero. Kaya lang hindi nagkaroon ng katuparan yon dahil habang ginagawa ko pala yon, nagkudita na kami. So ayaw ng pagbigyan ni the new Senate President Tito Soto. Kasi kinukuha niya yung sinabi naman ng then Secretary of Justice that before they can be processed under the Witness Protection Program, they should do some restitution. Sabi ko, teka muna. That was re-echoed by the Senate President. Sabi ko, wala naman ganun sa rules eh.
Bago yan.
Bago naman ata yan eh. O sabi ni Boy, hanggang sa nagkaroon kami ng konting pagtatalo, why are you adding a requirement that doesn't exist in the law?
Respectfully, Senator Marcoleta, I also feel that those requirements, these are threshold procedural requirements.
Yes, sir.
Restitution can happen either before or after.
Or after.
Because remember, every criminal
Not
liability
before,
case,
if you talk about
walang
the
rule.
application.
Where's the rule?
Siguro after, because that is the most...
I
Once
disagree with that
na-establish.
because all the in the case of the Napoles, that was also part of that. You were requiring because the reason why it is not a sixth element because number one, it's a substantive yan Procedural yung sinasabi doon sa discharge of a state witness. And restitution is not present in the way that is fashioned when you're stealing money. Restitution always happens, but not in the way like in the case of plunder. Not all cases are plunder, so that restitution will not be found in the general procedural rules. Kasi hindi lahat ng crime
But what standard? We understand pag after kasi fruits of the crime na siya or ano. But before, what will be the basis of your restitution?
It's a discretion of the judge.
No, but this one, nag-a-apply pa siya.
Wala pa sa judge. Wala pa.
Nag-a-apply siya kasi
WPP pa lang.
kailangan i-process mo siya under the law. WPP pa lang.
Wait.
Hindi
Dalawa
pa-
ho
hindi pa
yan
court.
There were two things, if I recall. One was protection, and one has to be discharged as state
As
witness,
state
which
witness.
is the most
WPP
importante
na.
sa kanila yun.
Hindi, ganito yan kasi Section 3, di ba? Pag ginawa mo Section 3, ito hindi siya kasama sa crime. Pero nag-a-apply siya ng witness protection dahil medyo mabigat ang testimony. But in this case, we're applying under Section 10 kasi kasama sila dito sa problemang iniimbestigahan. So, restitution, wala siya sa batas eh. Can you imagine the title itself of the law? It's Witness Protection and benefit. So to burden the potential applicant of restitution, unang-una, ilan ba i-restitute? Who's going to compute? Baka they will be able to abuse their discretion. Baka magkaroon pa ng corruption dito sa restitution because it is not provided by law. So sabi natin, ang totoo niyan, kahit na state witness na sila, if they cannot comply with the requirements, pwede mo naman sa tanggalin sa state witness. But restitution will always happen at the end.
Well, we have different views, Professor. But anyway.
Hindi, kasi at WPP, we have not yet established the extent of the criminal activity.
Hindi
So,
niya
kailangan
aaminin sa'yo
tapusin nila
na
yan,
hindi po kami nagnakaw.
But the fact that he's applying to be state witness, obviously.
Probably an
There's
expression
an-
of willingness to restitute. Yun siguro yung pwedeng...
But I'm just
you have
telling
to,
you,
The
hindi pwedeng
objective of the law kasi,
retroactive din
kaya
na-
naman kailangan mo yon. Napakahirap naman na ipinpoint mo yung isda na malaki. Wala ka nang makukuha ng ganun kadali. So, itong mga taong ito were encouraged to do that in order to help the state prosecute the bigger fish.
Well, anyway.
So
Yun
your-
ang exchange niya.
Your vision really is to go after the mastermind and therefore the root of all of
Yes,
this.
ma'am. That has
I
been
think
my
that is
position
not the
from the
monopoly
beginning.
of Senator Marcoleta's vision. It's a vision of everyone here
Of
to
course,
go
but
after the
we're talking
mastermind.
about how single-mindedly
Yeah.
this is how he crafted. In fact, the way you conducted the Senate Blue Ribbon when you were the chairman was in order to get at the big fish.
I told that in my...
May tanong po ako sa inyo, final question, medyo we're running off time. Pasensya na po. Kung hindi mag-go all the way sa Malacanang, ano hong magiging...
What do you mean all the way?
Sabi, kung may posible bang mag-go all the way to Malacanang, sa tingin nyo ba, this problem will go all the way to Malacanang?
Hindi naman ganun eh. Ako sa akin, hanggang saan naaabot ba yung ebidensya,
So, ang
di ba?
naabot lang kay
Ang sinabi ni
Romualdez.
Guteza, si
Follow
Romualdez
the evidence.
That's the whole point. I cannot speculate kung saan pa
beyond
pupunta yun.
that,
Basta ako, kung ano yung sinabi ni Guteza, I'm strictly following that.
Okay. Thank you.
So, thank you very much, sir. May naunlakan
Ako
niyo
magpapasalamat sa inyo.
At pinaunlakan niyo kami sa aming request.
Malakas sa akin si...
Oo nga, dinig ko nga.
Edwin.
Dinig ko nga. So, ano po yung final statement ninyo on this?
Yeah, sana ang taong bayan ay maging vigilant. Huwag po tayong maniniwala na dahil lamang sa sinabi ng abogado na hindi siya may pirma. Talagang maaring hindi po siya may pirma. Sa kalakaran po kasi, hindi naman po ang abogado po may pirma sa dami po ng mga notaryo publiko ngayon. Pero wala pong kasalanan si Guteza. Wala po siyang capacity na siya yung kumuha ng dry seal, siya mag-i-stamp po kung Manila, kung Quezon City, at lalong-lalong hindi po niya magagawang hanapin kung ano yung document number na ilalagay niya, the page number, and the book number. Imposible na po yun. Kami pong mga abogado, nagkakaintindihan kami doon. Kaya pinapaliwanag po namin mabuti sa inyo.
Huling na, sir. Tingin nyo, matutuwa pa yung mga... Anong reaction ng mga tao kung hindi... Naghihintay sila ng may Malacanang echo man lang tungkol dito sa corruption issue.
Basta ako po kung hanggang saan po aabot ang ebidensya. Ang nakita ko po ay si Guteza ay isang napakabuti at napakamalakas na ebidensya na nag-connect from Saldico to Martin Romualdez. Hanggang doon lang muna po tayo. Kung saan po aabot lahat nun, Diyos na po ang nakakaalam nun.
Maraming salamat, Senator Marcoleta. So this wraps up today's episode. For now, don't settle for just one side of the story.
Because every issue has two perspectives, as we see today, and the truth may be somewhere in between.
I'm Attorney Trixie Cruz-Angeles.
I'm Attorney Edwin Lacierda, and this
is The Spokes.